The mysterious death of Gene Hackman and his wife and dog found dead in their home in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Gene Hackman, the iconic actor of the 80s and 90s, has been a fan favorite for decades. However, the recent revelation made by his former co-star has left fans in shock. What was this terrible revelation all about? Will Gene Hackman's reputation survive this? Join us as we uncover these revelations and how it will affect Gene Hackman's career. Gene Hackman's reputable career. Gene Hackman faced many obstacles on his path to becoming a respected actor in Hollywood. In 1956, he made the choice to follow a career in acting, a decision that brought about many difficulties. To enhance his skills, he joined the Pasadena Playhouse in California, a well-known institution for aspiring actors. It was at this place where he met Dustin Hoffman, another budding actor who later achieved great fame. Rather than receiving encouragement, both Hackman and Hoffman encountered ridicule from their fellow actors. They were seen as outcasts and were even labeled as having the lowest chances of success. Hackman was given the lowest grade ever by the Pasadena Playhouse, but instead of letting it bring him down, he became even more determined to prove his critics wrong. He left California and moved to New York City in search of better opportunities. An article in Vanity Fair in 2004 portrayed Hackman, Hoffman, and another actor, Robert Duvall, as a group of close friends who were committed to making it in the industry. They lived in small apartments, sharing resources as they chased after success. Similar to many aspiring actors, Hackman had to balance multiple unrelated jobs in order to support himself while trying to break into acting. Among these gigs was a job at a Howard Johnson's restaurant. During one shift, he encountered a teacher from the Pasadena Playhouse. Instead of providing words of support, the teacher made negative comments, implying that his job at the restaurant was a sign of his lack of ability. Rather than letting this criticism deter him, Hackman used it as fuel to push himself harder towards achieving his goals. Despite encountering obstacles, Hackman slowly started securing small acting gigs. He appeared in secondary roles on television programs like Tallahassee 7000, The United States Steel Hour, Route 66, Naked City, The Defenders, The DuPont Show of the Week, East Side, West Side, and Brenner. While these engagements did not propel him to fame, they offered valuable experience. Furthermore, he began participating in off-Broadway performances, which, although not as prestigious as Broadway productions, allowed actors to showcase their talents. His debut in off-Broadway was in the play The Saintliness of Marjorie Kempe in 1959. Following this, he performed in another off-Broadway production called Come to the Palace of Sin in 1963. Hackman then transitioned to Broadway in 1963 with the play Children from Their Games, but unfortunately, it did not fare well. A further setback occurred with A Rainy Day in Newark soon after. However, his fortunes changed in 1964 when he landed a role in the successful Broadway show Any Wednesday, starring alongside Sandy Dennis. This performance catapulted Hackman into the limelight as an actor. After making a name for himself in the theater world, Hackman began securing smaller roles in films. His first official movie credit came in Lilith, 1964, where he starred alongside Gene Seberg and Warren Beatty. This marked the beginning of his transition from stage to screen. While pursuing his film career, Hackman continued to grace the Broadway stage. From 1964 to 1965, he took on a major role in Poor Richard, a play written by Gene Kerr, which enjoyed a successful run of over 100 performances. Despite his progress, Hackman was not yet a household name in Hollywood. He continued to make appearances in TV series like The Trials of O'Brien, Hawk, and the FBI. He appeared in minor roles in several movies like First to Fight, 1967, A Covenant with Death, 1967, and Banning, 1967. Regrettably, he faced a setback early in his career when he was let go from his role as Mr. Robinson in The Graduate, 1967, directed by Mike Nichols. Nichols believed Hackman appeared too young for the character and replaced him with Murray Hamilton after just 3 weeks of rehearsals. Despite this disappointment, Hackman continued to push forward. The following year, he found a new opportunity in the crime film Bonnie and Clyde, 1967. In this movie, he took on the role of Buck Barrow, the sibling of Clyde Barrow, who was portrayed by Warren Beatty. The film was a major success, and Hackman's acting in it earned him his first nomination for an Academy Award in the category of Best Supporting Actor. Following the triumph of Bonnie and Clyde, Hackman continued to be involved in various television endeavors. Despite his involvement in The Natural Look on Broadway, the production was swiftly shut down after just one performance. He also landed parts in off-Broadway productions such as Fragments and The Basement. On television, he made guest appearances on shows like Iron Horse, Leopards Try But Leopards Can't, and Insight, Confrontation. In 1968, he appeared on the television show I Spy as a character named Hunter in the episode Happy Birthday, Everybody. He also had roles in the CBS Playhouse episode My Father and My Mother and the apocalyptic TV movie Shadow on the Land, 1968. Hackman's success in the film industry continued to grow. The following year, in 1969, he played a ski instructor in the movie Downhill Racer with Robert Redford, and an astronaut in Marooned, a sci-fi drama. Also in 1969, he was in The Gypsy Moths, a film about skydivers performing at local fairs. Even though the movie did not make much money, it developed a devoted following among skydivers. Hackman appeared alongside Jim Brown in both The Split, 1968, and Riot, 1969. Speculations circulated that he was possibly up for the role of Mike Brady in The Brady Bunch, but his agent advised against it, hoping for more movie opportunities. Although some versions of this story might be embellished, it remains a widely shared anecdote about his early career decisions. Hackman was nominated again for the Best Supporting Actor Academy Award for his performance in I Never Sang for My Father in 1970. This was followed by appearances in Doctor's Wives and The Hunting Party in 1971. He then won an Academy Award for Best Actor for his portrayal of New York City detective Jimmy Popeye Doyle in The French Connection in 1971, establishing his place as a leading actor in the industry. Following his success in The French Connection, Hackman starred in 10 films over the next 3 years, further solidifying his reputation as one of the most prolific actors in Hollywood at the time. After appearing in the successful film The French Connection, he landed prominent parts in Cisco Pike, 1972, Prime Cut, 1972, The Poseidon Adventure, 1972, and Scarecrow, 1973, opposite Al Pacino, a role he treasured and received the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. He was also featured in The Conversation, 1974, by Francis Ford Coppola, which garnered numerous Oscar nominations and won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. That same year, he played Harold the Blind Man in Young Frankenstein, a comedic performance that would go on to become one of his most memorable roles. Moreover, Hackman was seen in Zandy's Bride, 1974, and Night Moves, 1975, directed by Arthur Penn. In Bite the Bullet, 1975, Hackman depicted an ex-soldier from Teddy Roosevelt's Rough Riders. He reprised his role as Doyle in the sequel French Connection 2, 1975, and starred with Burt Reynolds and Liza Minnelli in the flop film Lucky Lady, 1975. After collaborating with Stanley Kramer on The Domino Principle in 1977, Hackman was part of a diverse cast in the war film A Bridge Too Far, taking on the role of Polish General Stanisław Sosabowski. He also played an officer in the French Foreign Legion in the same year's March or Die. Hackman showcased his range by seamlessly transitioning between comedy and nuanced portrayals, such as his portrayal of the villainous mastermind Lex Luthor in 1978's Superman, the movie. This character would later reprise in the sequels released in 1980 and 1987. In the 1980s, Hackman took on a variety of roles in different movies. He starred in leading roles in films like All Night Long, 1981, alongside Barbra Streisand, and Eureka, 1983. Additionally, he played supporting roles in movies such as Reds, 1981, with Warren Beatty, and Under Fire, 1983. Hackman also provided his voice for the character of God in Two of a Kind, 1983, and appeared in other films like Uncommon Valor, 1983, Misunderstood, 1984, Twice in a Lifetime, 1983, and Target, 1985, which was directed by Arthur Penn. From 1985 to 1988, he starred in a total of 9 movies, establishing himself as one of the most sought-after actors of the era, along with Steve Guttenberg. In Hoosiers, 1986, Hackman played a basketball coach at a high school, a performance that later led to the film being recognized as the 4th best sports movie of all time, in a poll conducted by the American Film Institute in 2008. After his role in Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, 1987, Hackman lent his voice to Nuclear Man and also appeared in other films such as No Way Out, 1987, Split Decisions, 1988, Bat 21, 1988, and Full Moon in Blue Water, 1988. In the movie Another Lady, which came out in 1988, Woody Allen acted alongside Gina Rowlands. Hackman plays an FBI agent investigating the killing of a civil rights leader, with Willem Dafoe co-starring in the film Mississippi Burning, directed by Alan Parker in the same year. Roger Ebert praised Hackman's performance in the movie for its understated quality. He was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor, but eventually lost out to Dustin Hoffman for his role in Rain Man. After that, Hackman featured in The Package in 1989. He also appeared in the film Loose Cannons in 1990 with Dan Aykroyd and had a minor role in Postcards from the Edge in 1990. In the film Narrow Margin, 1990, which is a modern version of the original movie The Narrow Margin from 1952, he co-starred with Anne Archer. Following his roles in Class Action, 1991, and Company Business, 1991, Hackman portrayed the cruel sheriff Little Bill Daggett in the Western movie Unforgiven, directed by Clint Eastwood and written by David Webb Peoples. Although initially hesitant to take on violent characters, Eastwood persuaded him to take the role, resulting in his second Oscar win for Best Supporting Actor. Unforgiven was also honored with the Best Picture award. In 1992, Hackman returned to Broadway in Ariel Dorfman's play Death and the Maiden, performing alongside Glenn Close and Richard Dreyfuss at the Brooks Atkinson Theatre. The next year, he took on the role of Brigadier General George Crook in Geronimo, an American legend, and played a dishonest attorney opposite Tom Cruise in The Firm, a legal thriller adapted from a John Grisham book. Hackman continued his work in Grisham adaptations, playing the character Sam Cahall in The Chamber, 1996, and portraying jury consultant Rankin Fitch in Runaway Jury, 2003. During the 1990s, Hackman starred in several films, including Wyatt Earp, 1994, portraying Nicholas Porter Earp, The Quick and the Dead, 1995, alongside Sharon Stone, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Russell Crowe, and Crimson Tide, 1995, where he portrayed submarine captain Frank Ramsey with Denzel Washington. In the comedy drama Get Shorty, 1995, Hackman appeared as film producer Harry Zim opposite John Travolta. The next year, he demonstrated his comedic abilities as Senator Kevin Keeley in The Birdcage with Robin Williams and Nathan Lane. In 1996, he collaborated with Hugh Grant in Extreme Measures and reunited with Clint Eastwood in Absolute Power the following year. His work in Twilight in 1998 involved teaming up with Paul Newman, directed by Robert Benton. Hackman also provided his voice in Ants in 1998 and appeared alongside Will Smith in Enemy of the State, with similarities to his character in The Conversation. So, what is Hackman's personality like? Why is he considered difficult and harsh by co-stars? Let's find out. Gene Hackman's personality and style. Gene Hackman is widely recognized as a skilled and influential actor in Hollywood, praised for his talent in seamlessly embodying various characters with a subtle yet powerful presence. He is known for his dedication to his craft, fully embodying each role without the need for flashy theatrics or unnecessary frills. Hackman's acting style is rooted in authenticity, as he effortlessly blends into his characters and truly lives in the moment of each scene. His ability to convey a sense of authority, vulnerability, and underlying threat has made him a highly desirable figure in the world of acting. Hackman, despite his strong on-screen charisma, is not famous for being a flashy or egocentric star. Rather, he is characterized as being quiet, dedicated, and highly focused on his art. He prioritizes authenticity and credibility over flashy displays, which is why his acting often strikes an emotional chord with audiences. Unlike actors who thrive on attention, Hackman has frequently expressed unease with fame, opting instead for a more private life outside of the usual Hollywood spotlight. He is skilled at portraying morally complicated characters in positions of power like law enforcement, military, or politics. His ability to bring depth to both protagonists and antagonists, such as Popeye Doyle in The French Connection and Lex Luthor in Superman, sets him apart. Hackman's characters are never one-dimensional. Instead, they are fully developed and unpredictable, showcasing his talent for versatile acting. He was recognized for his strong work ethic and no-nonsense attitude while working on set. Unlike others in his field, he viewed acting as a serious profession that demanded commitment rather than a platform for self-promotion. His straightforward and business-minded approach occasionally caused friction with colleagues who preferred method acting and artistic exploration. Hackman prioritized efficiency and reliability, often skipping unnecessary rehearsals and repeated takes. Hackman entered the world on January 30, 1930, in San Bernardino, California, and faced a tumultuous upbringing. His parents ended their marriage during his formative years, leading to a strained rapport with his father, who later abandoned the family. This early tumult influenced his perspective on life, instilling in him a strong sense of autonomy and self-reliance. At 16 years old, he falsely claimed his age to sign up for the U.S. Marine Corps. Finding purpose in the military's strict environment, he later shifted gears to pursue a career in acting after attending classes at the Pasadena Playhouse. Despite facing criticism for not fitting the typical leading man mold, he persisted and managed to establish himself in the entertainment industry during the 1960s. In 1956, Hackman tied the knot with Faye Maltese, his first wife. Their marriage lasted for 30 years until they parted ways in 1986. Despite having 3 children, Hackman preferred to keep his family life out of the public eye and seldom talked about his personal life in interviews. His commitment to his career sometimes led to a disconnect between him and his family due to his extended work hours on set, a fact he eventually admitted. Hackman tied the knot with Betsy Arakawa, a skilled classical pianist, in 1991. In contrast to several other celebrity couples in Hollywood, Hackman and Arakawa leaned towards a tranquil and consistent lifestyle, far from the public eye. They made their home in New Mexico, where Hackman indulged in pastimes like painting, writing, and architecture. Hackman was highly regarded by his colleagues for his skill. However, his demanding nature and occasionally blunt attitude made it challenging to collaborate with him. He was not one to engage in idle chit-chat while filming and typically limited his interactions with fellow actors. This behavior was seen as intimidating by some, yet others admired his unwavering commitment. Although he was considered challenging by some of his fellow actors, Gene Hackman was admired by many. Dustin Hoffman and Robert Duvall, who had studied alongside Hackman at the Pasadena Playhouse, regarded him as a dear friend despite pursuing different career trajectories. The talent and work ethic of Hackman were widely praised by other actors such as Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman. Even though he could come across as brusque at times, Hackman was not one to harbor resentment or get involved in Hollywood conflicts. He dedicated himself to his craft, gave compelling performances, and avoided getting caught up in the politics of the entertainment world. The end of Gene Hackman's career. In the year 2000, Hackman starred in films with Morgan Freeman, Keanu Reeves, Owen Wilson, and Sigourney Weaver. He also played a prominent role in a crime thriller directed by David Mamet, portraying an experienced thief forced to undertake one final heist. Additionally, he made a short appearance in another movie from the same year. In the comedy movie The Royal Tenenbaums, 2001, directed by Wes Anderson, Hackman was praised for his portrayal of the quirky patriarch of a family, earning critical acclaim. According to Frank Scheck of The Hollywood Reporter, Hackman's performance perfectly captured the character's blend of goodness, love for his family, and charismatic charm. His depiction won him the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy. In 2003, he starred in another legal thriller by John Grisham titled Runaway Jury, where he reunited with longtime friend Dustin Hoffman for the first time on screen. In the following year, he made an appearance in the comedy Welcome to Mooseport with Ray Romano, which ended up being his last movie role. His outstanding achievements in the entertainment field were acknowledged in 2003 when he was honored with the Cecil B. DeMille Award at the Golden Globe Awards, given to him by Michael Caine and Robin Williams. In a scarce interview with Larry King in July 2004, he revealed that he had no future film commitments and believed that his acting days were behind him. In 2007, he provided his voice for 4 episodes of the sports documentary series America's Game, the Super Bowl Champions. The following year, during the promotion of his third novel, he announced his retirement from acting. Also in that year, he made his final TV appearance on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, being seen dining at a Santa Fe diner with Guy Fieri. In 2009, as Hackman talked about stepping down, he cited a stressful test in New York where a doctor raised concerns about his heart's health as the tipping point. During an interview with GQ magazine in 2011, he mentioned the possibility of resuming his acting career under specific conditions, such as being able to work from home with little disturbance. To take a break from retirement, Hackman lent his voice to narrate 2 documentaries about the United States Marine Corps: The Unknown Flag Raiser of Iwo Jima in 2016, and We, the Marines, in 2017. So what caused the tragic end of Gene Hackman, and how was the reaction of his co-stars? Health challenges and a sad end. In 1990, Gene Hackman underwent an angioplasty to improve his blood flow. He remained active despite the procedure. Nevertheless, when Hackman was 82 in 2012, he was involved in a biking accident in the Florida Keys. Reports initially suggested that he suffered severe head injuries from a collision with a pickup truck. However, his publicist later clarified that he only sustained minor injuries such as bumps and bruises. Over time, Hackman's physical activity level gradually decreased, evident to those close to him who observed changes in his overall health. Although he used to be a committed cyclist before, he stopped pursuing this hobby a year before his death. His outdoor activities became rare, and those close to him started to view him as more of a homebody. Hackman, along with his wife Betsy Arakawa and one of their 3 dogs, were tragically found dead at their home in Santa Fe, New Mexico, on February 26, 2025. Concerns were raised when a maintenance worker, alarmed by the lack of communication from the couple, decided to check on their well-being. After unsuccessful attempts to reach them, the worker sought assistance from local security, who then notified the authorities. The worker looked through a window and saw motionless bodies, leading them to call emergency services immediately. Sheriff's deputies were quickly sent to investigate. The maintenance team mentioned their last interaction with Hackman and Arakawa happened 2 weeks prior to the unsettling discovery. Hackman's body, showing signs of decomposition, was found close to the house entrance. Arakawa was located in a bathroom, surrounded by various prescription medications. These substances were prescribed for hypertension and thyroid problems. An Australian Kelpie belonging to them was discovered deceased in a crate tucked away in a closet, while their other 2 dogs were found alive in another part of the property. Authorities observed that Hackman's descent appeared abrupt. This also raised questions about a previous incident involving Arakawa. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department announced on February 27th that there was no evidence of foul play. Nevertheless, they were unable to determine the reason or specific time of death, leading to an investigation into the surrounding circumstances of the unfortunate incident. Emergency responders eliminated the possibility of carbon monoxide poisoning as there were no signs of leaks found by the fire department, and autopsies showed no presence of the gas in their bodies. Furthermore, both Hackman and Arakawa displayed no obvious physical injuries. Data from Hackman's pacemaker suggested that his heart had ceased beating on February 17th, indicating that they had already died prior to their bodies being found. The film industry grieved deeply for Hackman's loss. People who were acquainted with and respected him reflected on his remarkable achievements and the enduring influence he had on others. Clint Eastwood expressed admiration for Hackman's acting skills, highlighting his dedication and authenticity in portraying characters. Francis Ford Coppola commended Hackman's impact on the film industry, applauding his talent and the complexity he added to his roles. Prince William, as the president of the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, honored Hackman's versatility and excellence in portraying diverse characters. Various notable figures in the entertainment field expressed their admiration and sadness over the passing of Hackman. Morgan Freeman, Dustin Hoffman, Glenn Close, and Tom Hanks were among the many individuals who paid their respects to him. Viola Davis, Bill Murray, Mel Brooks, and Alec Baldwin also honored him. Gwyneth Paltrow, Josh Brolin, John Cusack, and Ben Stiller shared their appreciation too. Michael Rosenbaum, James Gunn, and Valerie Perrine also took part in commemorating Hackman's lasting impact. Nathan Lane, Antonio Banderas, and Hank Azaria added their sentiments to the tribute. George Takei and Jennifer Love Hewitt also joined the others in mourning the actor's passing. Film critic Peter Bradshaw from The Guardian reflected on the passing of Hackman, noting that it signaled the end of an important era in American cinema. Bradshaw saw Hackman as a prominent figure in the American New Wave movement that revolutionized the film industry in the latter years of the 1900s. He described Hackman as a commanding presence on screen, capturing the audience's attention effortlessly with his acting skills. Bradshaw pointed out the distinctive facial expressions of Hackman, from his cunning smiles to the underlying sorrow in his fatherly demeanor, which resonated with viewers long after the credits rolled. Now, to the main question, what exactly did Hackman's co-star reveal about him? What Gene Hackman's former co-star just revealed about his behavior on set? Gene Hackman was known to be a challenging colleague, with his intense demeanor making it tough for co-stars and directors to work with him. Although he was committed to his work, his no-frills attitude frequently led to conflicts on set. Hackman's directness, lack of patience, and aversion to Hollywood pleasantries set him apart from other actors who prioritized maintaining good relationships over all else. While some actors were willing to compromise to keep the peace, Hackman showed little interest in conforming to social norms. His reputation as a highly regarded actor was cemented by his powerful roles in Unforgiven, The French Connection, and The Royal Tenenbaums. However, collaborating with him behind the scenes was not always smooth sailing. He had high expectations, insisted on top-notch professionalism, and did not tolerate anything less. Some admired his intense dedication, while others were put off by his intimidating and sometimes harsh demeanor. His unwillingness to coddle directors' egos and his frank communication style often created tension in his partnerships. During the filming of The Royal Tenenbaums, Hackman's challenging demeanor became famous. Director Wes Anderson, usually known for his gentle and precise approach, struggled to deal with Hackman's presence. Hackman's annoyance with Anderson's directing method caused friction between them. At one point, Hackman reportedly insulted Anderson by referring to him as an immature 12-year-old and even urged him to act like a grown-up. The tension escalated to the point where Bill Murray, who had few scenes with Hackman, had to support Anderson emotionally. Actress Angelica Houston revealed that she spent most of her time on set protecting Anderson from Hackman's volatile behavior. Hackman's intense presence was felt even in less challenging roles. While filming Welcome to Mooseport, his last movie before retiring, co-star Ray Romano was intimidated by Hackman. Despite being a seasoned comedian, Romano had difficulty handling Hackman's serious and at times confrontational demeanor. The movie received negative reviews, leading many to believe that Hackman's time on set only reaffirmed his choice to step away from Hollywood. Hackman's reputation for being strong was not limited to just movie sets. He was once in a car accident that turned violent in 2001. Even at the age of 71, he continued to demonstrate the same strength and resilience he had in his youth. This incident only served to solidify the belief that Hackman did not shy away from confrontation, whether it be at work or in his personal life. Hackman was known for his challenging personality, but no one doubted his talent. His exceptional skills earned him numerous awards, showcasing his ability to deliver compelling performances. Despite his success, not everyone was keen on working with him more than once. When he decided to leave Hollywood, there was no pushback against his decision. Unlike other actors who leave lasting connections, Hackman's legacy was based solely on his professional achievements rather than personal relationships. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.